All right, welcome back, everyone, to the show. Today we have our youngest guest ever. Welcome to the show, Summit.
Welcome, Summit. You are 2 months old, and here you are.
Yeah, for those of you who are just listening, Summit is sleeping on Colette's chest because this is how we're navigating the life of 2 kids.
Yeah, and we are starting about an hour later than expected, just trying to navigate nap schedules and what have you. So here we are. This is parenting.
But we just got back from our first trip with 2 kids.
Yes.
A cross-country flight. Those are the best.
Yeah, let's start easy, huh?
Yeah. From Newark to, or let's just say New York City, to Los Angeles. And how did you feel going into it? How nervous were you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Hard to give it a number. I wouldn't say I was in the higher numbers of that. However, I was still really nervous. Even the OGs, even the vets get nervous when you start over. And even though we've done this before, we've never done this with 2 kids. And it's been a while since we did it with a baby. So, yeah, I was actually kind of nervous.
Yeah, I was too. Well, we kind of had like a dry run because the week before we went to the airport and we were going to go. But that day, Scotland was starting to feel sick. And she had been kind of sick the day before, but it was like not that bad. And then we get to the airport, and it's one of those things as a parent, you just start to realize like she's not feeling well. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of things planned, and we're thinking like, all right, worst case scenario, we get on this flight and she has something really bad and we're supposed to be in one hotel room. So like, what if she has like hand, foot, and mouth and we're all stuck here? And what are we going to do? And so we kind of just decided like, it's relatively easy for us to reschedule this trip. So we canceled. We were like getting ready to board. So we
were legit at the gate getting ready to board, and she just seemed not herself.
Yeah.
And, prior to that, like that morning, she was fine. But right as we were about to board, that gut feeling was just like I had a red light going off in my head. And I'm trying to ask her, she's 3 years old, so as best as possible, like, do you want to go? She really wants to get on the plane because to her, airplanes mean movies. We'll talk about more of that later. But I said, no matter what, like you can watch a movie, but how do you feel? And we ended up saying, let's stay home. Let's cancel the trip, because ultimately, like, pros and cons, risk and reward, like there's not much, like, yes, you want to go on the trip, right? But there's not that much reward, especially if you have a sick kid. 1, you don't want it's terrible to travel when you're sick. 2, like, you don't want your child to be sick. And 3, there's other people on board that have to be subjected to your child. Let's be respectful. That means you 2 adults. Let's be respectful when we're sick. Let's not travel. So, yeah, we stayed home. Anyway, but we ended up going on the trip eventually.
Yes. So I had kind of shaken out all the nerves on that day because I was like panicked on like, how are we going to pack things down? I was nervous about like, where are things going to go? So we made a few mistakes, but we learned, which we'll get into like all the details already of like how we navigate this travel with 2 kids. And I mean, I guess we kind of talk about like the physical stuff. Like,
yeah, I think that's really important.
One of the coolest things is our stroller. So we've always been a fan of the Bugaboo butterfly stroller. Mm-hmm. Great travel. This thing is, I remember getting it and I was like, because they're expensive. I mean, strollers just in general are expensive.
And they've gone up in price due to the tariffs.
Everything. But I was like, oh, this is something that like we're going to have to buy every year. I just kind of thought like, we're going to break it. That was, I don't know. You look at it and like, it looks durable, but at the same time, you're like, we're traveling a lot. This thing's going to break. It has lasted. Mm-hmm. And now we have not only the stroller, but there's this little attachment that goes on the back.
It's like a toddler boogie board.
Yeah. I don't know the exact name, but it's like a little boogie board with a chair. Mm-hmm. In Scotland, we call it her special chair. And like, she loves it. So she sits back there, she can stand up and kind of like stand over the stroller. And this pretty easily clips in and out. And so that's kind of our stroller setup.
Yeah. And then inside the stroller now, we have a Nuna Pippa Light RX car seat that we have special adapters for to put inside or I should say on top of the stroller.
Yeah, it clicks into the stroller.
It clicks in and clicks out so that when we're at the airport moving around, Summit can be in the car seat and Scotland can be on her special seat, so to speak, and they could both be cruising through.
And all of this folds up and can be gate checked.
Right, for free.
Yes.
So baby items, at least in the U.S., can be gate checked for free, and that's amazing. You just have to go up to the gate agent right as you're about to board or, a few minutes before and ask for gate check tags, and they check it to your destination, and you pick it up right outside. You don't have to go to baggage claim. You just pick it up right outside when you deplane.
Let's talk about some of the other stuff. People are always like, how do you travel with 2 kids and not check a bag?
Well, I have to say, one of the biggest saviors for not checking a bag is a company called BabyQuip, and it's baby equipment that you rent in your destination. Now, it's all over the United States, and it's in a few destinations abroad. I'm not exactly sure where. But, for example, on this trip, we flew to Orange County, California. We rented a snoo, and if you know, it's this amazing smart bassinet that rocks your baby to sleep. We rented that. It was delivered directly to the hotel that we were staying at and picked up from there as well. So you pay for that service for them to pick it up and drop it off, but then they clean it for you. So, you're not getting this like yucky car seat that you get with like an Avis, at rental cars.
But it's also nice, like as they get older.
Oh yeah. And I say car seat because that's usually what people rent when they're traveling. But you can rent car seats, you can rent strollers, you can rent toys, you can rent snoo bassinets. I think they do everything that like babies and kids need. Yeah. We've rented high chairs before, and they clean it up, they deliver it to you. It's like, it's an amazing service. Whether you don't have to be at a hotel either. They can meet you at the airport. We're doing that soon. We're having them meet us at the airport with a car seat. Like, this is amazing. And that way you don't have to lug all of this other stuff, because traveling with kids is hard enough already.
So for us right now, we actually travel with 2 car seats. I know you're talking about that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So go through some of like the nitty gritty. So we have the stroller, and we have that little attachment. So that's how we move through the airport with Scotland and Summit, all in like one little train. Mm-hmm. So we get 3 carry-on bags because we have to buy a seat for Scotland.
Yes.
So we pack. So we kind of shared the packing, but like I have my bag with my stuff and a few of family items. Colette has her things with family items, and then we have the kids with their 2 things. And because they're kind of young and we've got a newborn, they don't take up that much space. We travel with for Scotland's mattress, we just have the blow-up Slumbertot mattress. It's just the mattress part, so it's like, it's probably about the size of a pair of shoes when you roll it up, but we fold that up there, and then we just use the sheets and a blanket from the hotel. I'm trying to think what else we use, but then we gate check the stroller, gate check the car seat.
And with that stuff, I just want to say it's wise to take a photo of your car seat and your stroller or whatever you're gate checking prior to it going through to the gate check, because in case there is damage, you want to be able to show that to your travel insurance.
And then we have like a cheap, like a car seat bag that we got on Amazon, like a generic big, tough bag to throw those things in. So when we check them at the gate check, they're all in one bag and they don't fall apart.
By the way, you can always shove a few things in that car seat bag if you need to, like some extra fluffy stuff, like diapers. Just shove those in, wipes, anything extra. You just shove it in that car seat bag.
And don't feel bad if you look a little chaotic going in, because with 2 kids, you're not gonna be this nice, neat business traveler who's just got the small carry-on and the little handbag. Like, you're gonna have some extra stuff, and that's okay. Yeah. And you're gonna take time to load too. So, and you board early.
Yes. So United allows you to board early. Not every airline.
True.
I should say not every airline announces that you can board early, but you can board early. So say if you're flying American or another airline, just go up to your gate agent before and say, hey, I'm traveling with a family. Can I do pre-board if you need to?
Yeah.
Some people like to board last. I'm not that person.
What do you say to like the nervous person who has kids or about to have kids and they're thinking about their first flight? Like, what is it you want to say to them?
Breathe. It's going to be okay. I mean, listen, if you are a parent and you're parenting at home and you're going out and you're grocery shopping with your kids, like if you can do that, you can go to an airport. It's parenting in a different location, and it is higher stakes, higher stress. I understand that. And you're capable. You can do it. And just like anything in life, it takes reps. It takes practice. You have to get the reps in. Don't expect to be an expert right from the get-go. We weren't, but we were capable human beings that had confidence, like self-confidence. We could do this. And I had confidence in you. I hope you had confidence in me. Like, rely on each other, rely on your partner if you were traveling with your partner. And it's going to be okay. And you make mistakes. The kids will cry. Kids will be kids. That's what it is. Just do your best and forget the rest, to quote Tony Horton.
Oh my God, that's an old one.
Right?
You P90Xers know what that is.
Yeah. Another thing I want to call out that we just started traveling with is the Waby Pico car seat.
Oh,
This
yeah.
thing is insane. It's so lightweight.
It's great, but it's also not cheap.
No, it's not
It's
cheap.
not cheap, but it's great for toddlers.
Yes.
And it is a toddler car seat that
Forward facing.
that does not take up that much space and is not heavy. I hated carrying her car seat
Oh
around.
my goodness, it was so heavy.
So
that
and
was
it
on
was like,
you.
well, and also like there was no easy way to carry it. Just like would bounce and hit me in the back of the legs, and I hated that thing. So I'm so glad we got the Waby Pico. Is that
Yeah,
what it
it's
is?
called Wavy Pico. It like folds up. It's super small. Was it 7 pounds, something like that?
It's so light.
wild.
Yeah.
And then also it's great even at home, like if your grandma's going to pick up the baby or your aunt or whoever. Yeah, it's awesome. I wish I had a code for you guys because it's expensive. It's almost $500 now and it's crazy. But I figure we're going to use this for Scotland and then eventually for Summit. And we travel a ton.
Yes.
So I think we'll get our money's worth.
I think for most people who are nervous about traveling, I mean, a few things like that help. Have two of stuff. So, for example, like if you have your toothpaste or whatever, your kid's soap or all those little things, like don't stress out if you can, about like, well, in the morning I'm going to grab these 5 things and put them in their bag. Like just buy a second one and have that as your travel item, especially for yourself. It makes it so much easier. If you can have a go bag that is just ready to go, and so you're not always forgetting things, that kind of helps out a lot. So we have baby medicine, all the things that are crucial. We have adult medicine, just essentials to get us through like the first 24 hours of something.
Always in the carry-on.
Always in the carry-on, because you never know, adults, kids, whatever, like someone wakes up in the middle of the night with a fever or sick and you need to have a little medicine. That stuff can just be life-saving. And yeah, that will kind of help also with your packing. You can kind of put that in the pack ahead of time so you're not stressing as you prep for your trip.
Yeah, that's really, really important that we have that stuff. I think it's also important to know that unless you're traveling to some really, really remote place, you can go to a store when you land. It's not always ideal, but things that that take up a lot of space, like diapers, we usually get them there. Of course, we pack enough to last for that trip.
I think you should emphasize that. That's another point. Diapers, we generally buy diapers there.
Yeah, we pack enough diapers to last us on the airplane. And for the tiny babies, I try to do 1 diaper per hour of travel. And then you also have to account for, will there be a delay? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Things are going to happen. So just pack extra and then pick up when you're there, because they take up so much room in your bag, and babies are everywhere. Thus diapers are everywhere.
And the easiest thing is you can order stuff to your hotel ahead of time.
Yes.
So that's what we did. We, on Amazon, order diapers to the hotel, order things that we need to the hotel, and they hold it. You send it the day before, whatever, you arrive. Hey, we have 3 packages for you, and you're set to go. So you don't even have to go out and get stuff.
Yeah. Now, of course, this is mostly United States based.
Yes.
A little different abroad, but still feasible.
I wonder if hotels are getting annoyed by that.
Probably.
Because I think more and more people are getting packages delivered to hotels and doing that for kids or for themselves. And it's probably becoming a little bit of an extra effort on them.
Build it into the resort fee.
Did anything surprise you on this trip?
I mean, I think we were very fortunate. I was surprised in the sense that like it went smoothly on the flights.
It did.
And I also realized that we're kind of in a sweet spot, I think, age, where Scotland is well versed in traveling at this point. She knows the deal. She knows we're going through security. Sorry, the little one is waking up a little bit, so I'm just gonna. It's okay, buddy. And then Summit he's so tiny. He's like a tiny potato that you just wear and feed and change regularly, and it's just a rinse and repeat type of thing with him. And I think having a toddler and having gone through all those phases and ages, like the tiny baby phase seems, I don't want to say easy because it's hard in different ways. Like the sleeping is hard and just the nerves, and like if there's someone sick, I'm like worried because he's so tiny. But in general, like he doesn't have an opinion about what we're doing or where we're going.
I would say to people who are maybe nervous, like they've just, if you hear that noise, those gurgles, whatever, that's just Summit. But if you're scared of going, and you have a baby who's 3 months old, whatever, like do it now because it's actually easy. When they get to like that 6 months to like 18 months almost, it's hard. That's effort. It takes work. It's just so much more energy. This flight, we were able to, you were feeding him, but basically we were able to like read books, like watch movies.
Yeah, it was wild.
We would chill because for us, how we kind of entertain our toddler for longer trips is she knows that flights mean movies. So she's like excited that she gets to watch a movie. And the other thing we do is we kind of make it a game is we actually say, basically we try to say, we don't always hold fast this rule, but like you can watch movies when the plane's in the air. So it kind of becomes this game with her where she's like watching to see, and she'll ask, are we in the air? Are we in the air? So it's fun, but also somewhat a little bit annoying, but it kind of makes her excited.
Built anticipation.
It built anticipation. And as soon as we get up, if there's screens, we kind of let her pick, and then we have an iPad if it doesn't, so then we can let her watch movies on her iPad. But doing that and making it something special works for her. I know each kid is different. We also bring, what are some of the toys that you packed?
So I try to bring novel toys. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be really nice. It's just new. And that novelty for toddlers is everything. I find that those water books, like the water pens that you can paint with water, are fabulous because you can get water on the flight and it's fairly mess free. And she really enjoys those. And then, things with stickers, like reusable stickers are really great. Anything with crayons, sticker books.
The Melissa and Doug stamp sticker.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get those for Europe.
Yeah, that's really good. So everything on the ground is toys. And we love when an airport has a playground. How awesome is that?
That's becoming more common, at least in the States, which is really nice. Well, or maybe we just noticed it because we're parents now.
That could be too.
We could have been here this whole time. We just didn't pay attention.
Yeah. So those are really great. But then, once we're on the plane and we're getting ready, I just love how she's like, are we in the air yet? Are we in the air yet? I'm like, no, baby, we're still on the ground. And then as soon as we lift off, I'm like, baby,
we're
look
in the
out
air.
the window. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's movie time. And, I know some people are screen-free parents and that's fine. For flights, I think it's a special day and that's how we get through it. And she gets through it and she looks forward to those travel days now. I think she always has actually, we're really fortunate in that sense. But she is a great traveler now.
So she does look forward to travel.
Yeah.
But just like any kid, she also misses home.
Yeah,
and
so when we get home.
there have been times, especially when we were traveling earlier, which we didn't know how to deal with it. She was like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And for us, and most new parents, you hear that and you're like, oh my God, they don't like travel.
Yeah.
They want to go home. They want their things. What should I do? What should I do? And we heard something from our friends who have kind of, their lives have evolved where they now kind of split their time between Costa Rica and where they live in the States. And what they said was very intelligent. They told their kids, they're like, home is when you're with mom and dad. So wherever we are, if we're together, you're home. And that kind of helped us too. And we also realized with our daughter at that time, it wasn't that she really necessarily missed home. She just wasn't having fun and she wanted to go be comfortable, so that could have been at the time. She might have been hungry, tired, who knows? But she just wanted comfort. She was seeking comfort. And so we've navigated that. But it is good that we'll be out, we'll be having fun. And then after some time, like this trip, where as we were getting ready to leave, she was like, I want to go home to New Jersey. And it was like, okay, perfect timing.
Great, because we're going. Yeah, I think kids and adults all have that moment where you're like, I just want my bed, or I just want X, Y, or Z. For her, it might be a playground, a friend, something like that. I respect it.
What do you tell parents that they need to do to have successful time changes? Like we went east to west.
Time changes. Well, I would say always offer the nap. If your kid is still napping, try to get them to nap. They might not. They'll be okay. It took me a while to understand that they're going to be okay if they don't nap. They will eventually get back on that time. It might take a while, or it might take a little while. I would say they adjust faster than adults do. And I would also recommend using sunlight as your best friend because the kids will adapt to that, especially the babies. And I recently read a study about, it was the younger you are, the more adaptable you are to circadian rhythm changes. So when we're thinking about tiny babies, even though, like Summit just slept through the night. The night before we left, he slept through the night. And I was like, oh, great. Now it's time to mess it up. But he did okay. And he actually slept the longest night ever in California on our trip. But kids will adapt. It will take a couple days. So expect that first night to not be great. It might be, but have snacks because, when your circadian rhythm is getting reworked, you get hungry at weird times. So like always have snacks in the room, and then just try to get on that time zone by getting outside as much as possible. That light works wonders. Do you have anything to add to that?
Coffee.
Well, that's for the adults.
I think one of the things we do, so when we travel west, is make sure that we have coffee in the room for the morning, because typically we're up at 4 a.m. That's 7 a.m. East Coast time that first day. And I can remember the first time we went with Scotland, she was awake and we didn't really have coffee for some reason. And I was just waiting for Starbucks to open. Mm-hmm. And I just was like counting the minutes until it finally opened. So we planned for that. Plan breakfast wise as best you can if you can have some snacks, because having the kids, wake up early. And then the other thing was this time, like, don't be afraid, because we were in one hotel room. Scotland woke up. Summit's still sleeping. You're kind of sleeping. And like, don't be afraid to bribe your child, to get them out of the room quietly if you can. I really didn't have to this time, but she woke up and she was like whispering. She's like, can I get in the bed? And I was like, hey, let's go downstairs. And she was excited. And I was like, but we got to be quiet. And so she was quiet. I didn't really have to bribe her. We went downstairs and we just explored the hotel. And to her, she was having a blast. Mm-hmm. We ended up going to Denny's at, I don't know what time it was, like 5:15, and she had some breakfast and I had coffee and had a great time. So it's, it allowed you to have like an extra hour with him to chill out.
I think what resonates in my mind when you say that is travel with kids is not always about thriving. It's about surviving. So if you need to bribe them, whether it's like a little show or a treat or whatever it is. And then also on the flights, that's like, we do use screen time on flights. Like, this is a special occasion, and this is not what we do in our everyday. That's why I say it's not about thriving, because our everyday at home looks different. We're trying to read books, we're trying to do games and do more of that. But travel days, you're just trying to get through. So that's okay. It's just a travel day.
Yeah. And you can plan, some of the other stuff we do that kind of helps make things more familiar. We do laundry while we travel. Yeah. That helps, especially with kids now. A few spit ups, a few blowouts, like you've got 3 or 4 outfits for the newborn.
And I know not everybody wants to do that. Like, I've heard feedback from many people that are like, I don't want to do laundry on my vacation. And I get it. So you can pay for it.
Or you can pack or you can check
or you can check a bag with an abundance of clothes. But, it's, if you want to travel light and travel in a carry-on, it is something that you should do. And I don't personally mind doing laundry. And what I bring are these actually laundry sheets. That way it's not a liquid and they pack down really well. Let me tend to this guy.
Okay. I think we'll take a small break. So I feel like most people are probably listening being like, oh, you guys had like an easy trip and it was chill and you guys planned perfectly. But like, what are some like the bad things that we've had, like just bad travel times?
Yeah, it doesn't always go smoothly. I think anytime there's a delay, it throws you for a loop. One, obviously the day is longer then. So if your kid is like just about to nap, all of a sudden they can't. There's commotion going on. Kids get overstimulated. I would say we had one flight from Amsterdam to Nice, and that's a short flight, but it felt like it took days because we were delayed. Then we were held in this like holding area. We were flying EasyJet. Scotland was a baby and she was hungry and tired. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to feed her on the plane. She's going to take a nap. Well, that holding area, like paddock area, took so long. Yeah. And then I'm surrounded by people. So I don't want to like pick her up and breastfeed her right there. And then I'm trying to do everything and it's not working. And by the time we get on the plane, she is overtired, overstimulated, and hungry. I should say hangry.
Oh my God, it was bad.
And started crying because like, of course. But it was really hard to calm her down at that point. That was really hard. There was a night flight, an overnight flight where she did not want to go to sleep. And I'm like bouncing her and rocking her, and they're not turning the lights off on this overnight flight. So she's like looking around like, oh, look at this. Oh, this is so much fun. And I'm like in the galley so I don't wake people up. And she's crying and I start crying. And this woman comes up to me and she's like, do you need a hug? And I was like, yes. So these things happen. It doesn't always go smoothly. And I think as a parent, you have to expect that like life doesn't go smoothly. Like every bedtime does not go smoothly. And it's frustrating when that happens. Of course it is. But parenting is hard and it's supposed to be hard, but you will get through it. I have to say, like, I know one thing, I was really scared of people's reactions to a crying baby. You know, you always hear like, don't travel with baby, especially not in like business class or anything like that. I expected people to be mean kind of like, and I was scared of that. I have encountered such kind people.
We've had a few like passive, we've had one or two comments, I feel like.
I guess it
very
doesn't
few.
even bother
It's rare.
me.
Yeah.
One, I think people are kinder than I expected.
Yeah, they
and
are.
two, it doesn't bother me as much as I expected it to, because your focus is on your kid and not these other people. And I think as long as you're trying as a parent and people see that you're trying, you're not like just ignoring your kid while they're crying, then what else can you do? Like we all have hard days.
You can make him eat. You can't make him eat and you can't make him sleep.
Right.
So.
We've definitely seen, unfortunately, we've seen kids screaming and parents not paying attention to them. And I kind of get it. I'm like, I feel bad for the kid at that point. Think about that. Like as long as you're trying to parent your child and doing like having your best effort there, like what else can you ask for?
Yeah. Yeah. The overnight flights can be tough at a certain age. Like even now, I mean, we've got an overnight flight and, you know, we'll try to accommodate and like set the situation, but also it's like, you can't fight them that much.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to like help them try to go to sleep, but it's sometimes like she'll go to sleep, she'll be okay. I mean, there was the trip, I think we were flying back home from Europe, and she was supposed to, I say that in quotes, take a nap at like, you know, a few hours in. She stayed up the entire time.
It was like a 9-hour flight.
And like as we're landing, she's like crying and just upset and crashes like basically as we're touching down. And she falls asleep, and I'm just, you know, just kind of shake your head like,
you're defeated at that point.
Thanks. Like now you're falling asleep. And, but it's, you know, those things happen. And it's just like, that's the toughest part. I mean, one of the things I would say that I've kind of taken on is like, you just have to realize when you're a parent and you're traveling like this, like you're on it, especially at certain ages. Like the idea of the life of like, I'm going to watch a movie and I'm going to chill. I hate to say it, but like, unless they're just newborns or they're old enough to watch movies, there's a phase where the travel is work. It just is. And you just have to accept it. But you could have a lot of fun when you get to your places and your locations. So it's give and take, and you'll have stories and you'll have moments where you're like, I wish we didn't do that. And you'll be exhausted and you'll both be tired, but it's just a phase of life. And I mean, I wouldn't want to skip those just for comfort and be like, well, I don't want to take those trips because it's too tough. Because you look back at all the pictures and memories we have, and it's like, I'm so glad we did those trips.
Yeah. And I often think like, you're going to be tired no matter what. You're going to be tired at home and maybe a little overwhelmed, or you can be tired and a little overwhelmed in the French Riviera or on a mountain in Colorado or wherever it is. Get outside with your kids when you get there. Go to playgrounds in different places. I know you're like, why would I fly all the way to France to go to a playground? Because it's a memory.
Or you might pick up a baguette and go to the
and
playground.
That's what it's all about. Like, and everything is just a phase, right? Like, and it is over quickly. I know it doesn't seem like it at the time when you're rocking your baby at 3 a.m. and they won't go back to sleep and they're just staring at you. And you're like, what's going on? Go back to sleep. But that's all a phase. And how nice would it be if you're rocking your baby to sleep looking at an ocean or somewhere in a faraway land? And I would say if it overwhelms you so much that it's causing you a lot of stress, don't go.
Don't
like
do it.
It doesn't. I only do it because travel is my passion, because it makes me feel like me. If it doesn't excite you, then don't force yourself. You know.
Well, thanks so much, and hopefully you guys
listening.
have some fun travels.
Happy travels.
Till next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you're learning from and or enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. These are great free ways to support this podcast. Also, please subscribe to this podcast on both Spotify and Apple. On both of those platforms, you can leave us up to a 5-star review, which would help us out greatly. Please also check out the sponsors mentioned in today's episode. That's the best way to support this show. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please put those in the comment sections in YouTube. And yes, we do read all the comments.